Hello everyone, I'm Nathaniel Hoover, aka Flashman85, aka Gemini Laser, and you've been listening to a selection from ocremix.org. That was DaMonz and Trainbeat with Mega Man 9 Mega Blocked. And welcome back for most of you who attended an earlier live stream where I started tackling all of the stages that I could fit from Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 2. So we're going to resume streaming all of the results. This will be the first time that these levels have been seen in public. Maybe. Actually, probably not. But anyhow, these are officially where they have placed, so I will pick up exactly where I left off. 3 housekeeping items before we resume. Number 1, the recording of today's earlier live stream requires more editing and processing than expected, but I'll have everything posted on YouTube as soon as I can after this stream. Number 2, the use of profanity on stream was a point of discussion earlier. To be clear, I'd like to keep the chat as family-friendly as possible. You don't need to censor yourself around me when we're on Discord or elsewhere, but for the sake of viewers who have come to expect that my videos are safe for work and appropriate for their children to watch, I'm asking you to show a little restraint in your word choice in the chat. This is not a huge deal, but it means a lot if you respect me enough to try. Number 3, about that doorman fight. I apologize if I gave the impression that I was trolling you by not picking up the energy element. Knowing that this game is still undergoing bug testing, I honestly thought that was a glitch, and that the energy element had spawned too soon, so I wanted to see how the fight was supposed to end. I'm doing my best to keep an eye on chat. Whoa, that's too loud. That's too loud. Too loud. I'm doing my best to keep an eye on chat and keep the gameplay moving and not die, so I inevitably miss large chunks of conversation sometimes. To rectify the situation, I'm going to start with a rematch of Doorman. We'll do it right this time. I also took Icy Tower's suggestion to change some of the recording priority. Actually, were we this way? I think it was this way. But anyways, I fiddled with some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Nope, not the right way. So hopefully the recording runs more smoothly this time, but if it doesn't, let me know and I'll change it back to how it was. So we are returning, actually, how many? 213. We can buy another costume, but I'm going to save up for, like, the hard hat helmet. So let's go back to Tier 3. Talk to Metal Man again. Okay, I will go back and talk to Metal Man again. Oh, some adjustments. Oh, hey, I know that guy. Some adjustments have been made. I got a very recently, like within 5 minutes, updated file from Pyro. So there's more stuff in this game now. I don't understand this. Why are the tiers in non-linear order? Why is Tier 2 on the other side of the city? Ah! Thank you. Metal Man says, the festival's starting to pick up! I'm getting really excited! I bet you are. Okay. Where to, where to? I mean, where 3? Are you new? No. I've heard some weird stories about the Sakugarne. Apparently it can bounce on spikes, enemies, and bullets. That's useful. Is that Nailman? Nailman! Have you taken on the dojo yet? Some of the challenges there are tough as nails! No, I have not, and I don't think I will during this stream. Okay, into the woods. Okay, we will make it all the way to the end. And we'll do this over again. This, to me, is the end. Why is there no teleporter there? Boing. It's kind of good to have that instant gratification of, hey, this is not working right on stream, or hey, this is confusing or annoying. Oh, look, and the little floaty death head, what is that, around the note. Yeah, it's fun to see the sort of that instant gratification of, this doesn't work, it's a fan game, we can change it. I keep thinking that's a bottomless pit. Stream quality is much better. Excellent, I'm glad to hear that. So, same dialogue as before, looks good. Yes, captured me well, I'll be with you in a moment. Sir, hold the door, please. You, Mega Jerk! Yes! Things and stuff and stuff and things! Woo! I love that wiggly text. Alright, let's do it wrong this time. Ow, I was trying to jump off the ladder there. I would have a little more luck with this if my screen were a little bigger. It's hard to see everything that I want. I'll take that. Oh! Gordon Benet. I left the element in that room. Huh? Okay. Someone will need to explain that to me. Wait, what am I doing? I have an exit utility. I could probably get away with a bigger screen, but of course you know, I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm gonna let this go. Tier 4 now? Is that where we're going? Let's see if anything new is happening here. I think we've talked to Birdman before. Nightman said 20. I don't know how far up we are. Oh, hey, you again. I forget what voice I had. Something like, "Our roll! I see you visit this pub as well. I must congratulate you on our battle earlier. It was quite fulfilling." That's cool. I like the respectfulness between robots. Ah, I can feel that you have at least 20 nickels. I have a bit more for you this time. Take 200 bolts. Now, what? But what if I was already at max? I'm not sure about you. 35. Okay. Oh, wait. Unless it's Gordon Bennett, and not Benet. What are you? Oh, that's you. Okay. This restaurant is quite exquisite. I'm sure even Chef Gordon Ramsay would enjoy it. No, I'm not going near Crystal Man. I talked to you already. I'm Grenade Man! What kind of idiot would name their currency the Noble Nickel when I make the Patrician Peso with a righteous ruble too while you're at it? Ah, exquisite to see you again. You can never escape my image, for I am a public domain character. Whoa. Yeah, notably larger than most other bosses. It's always refreshing to grab a beer after a long day. Have you seen the other Genesis unit, guys? Boing. There is no lamb sauce? I don't know what's going on in chat. Off we go. It's tier 6, we don't need to be there. Everyone is so rude at this festival. Every time I show up, people say how annoying I am. Well, I haven't seen you yet, I don't think. There you are. There's another member of the Genesis unit. Why is there no fountain in this city? A true disrespect to water. Simply disgusting. Tier 4 is left? What? Well, maybe I'm talking to all the new people in the hub. Maybe that's exactly what I'm doing. Ah, don't you just love the sweet smell of the city? I'm detecting fast food with a hint of smog. We did quack to take woman to talk. I say it. We talked with Quake Woman before, yes? Yeah, we don't want to go this way now. Okay, good. Press 2. Do not press 2. Why wouldn't I press 2? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna pop the balloons. No, roll pops the balloons, not the other way. Whatever. Okay. Hey, look, it's tier 3. Train station, tier 4 station. Here we go. Help, it's Charge Man. Go away. I like this music. Choo-choo! Finally, the subway is here! I've been waiting for a long time! Ugh, trains are so slow nowadays! 58th place! BizzareIdeaMan, Alien Temple, score 24. Sorry, we're not just reading comments as much of the stream as that took up previously. Okay, so we got a little Mega Man 2 Wily, a little Pharaoh Man, a little what? Oh no! No! Why more Galaxy Man? I'll turn the volume down more. Intruder alert. A rogue robot has entered the temple. It must be captured at any cost. Alive. Or dead. That is a scary alien. That was lucky. Okay, so good. Low gravity, good. Fireball on head, bad. What's funny is that I've been dodging most of these completely by accident. I'm engaging in the time-honored trick of this is of not being where the attack is going to hit me. Wait, what? That's what? I'm impressed that this rated so highly, given that there's nothing here. I mean, it's a solid battle, but what a cool concept! But I literally beat the stage in like 30 seconds. It's just a boss fight, and the boss fight is just good. Most of the attacks are fine, though the boss feels a bit dull because it seems like it just randomly chooses attacks, and some, like the yellow comet attack, aren't really well telegraphed. It's literally only the boss. It's literally only the boss, so it's not like I can say that much more about this. It looks really nice, though. Pretty cool boss. It would be better if there was an actual stage, though. An okay boss fight. It shines more in its concept than it does in its execution. All it needs is more telegraphing for its attacks, slightly slower, smaller projectiles, and something that prevents him from spawning on top of the player. I like the idea of having to utilize 0.5x gravity to reach him, but occasionally he spawned near the ground, which interrupted my illusion of this being a consistent thing. I was half hoping for this to be the prelude to an alien-based intrusion level, though, so I can't help but be somewhat disappointed by there being no substance aside from the boss itself. Come on. There could have been much more to this level. I mean, for what's there, it's not bad, but there's a serious lack of content considering that the level consists of only one boss and a very short section before it. That's simply not enough. Oh, we have pictures for the judges as well now. Cool. What do you actually look like? Okay. The boss was fine, if incredibly easy. Kind of like a really simple Wily capsule without the risk of telefrags. And I'm done. Okay. 57th place, TheYellowGrinch, Joe Desctruction Co. Score 24. Yeah, I agree with the bosses on that last one. A little more stage. You know, even if it were only like a fraction of a stage, I'd be okay. Hey, I did not know that we'd be going into Concrete Man stage when I picked that remix. I did not know that I would be hitting the boomerang in the face, and the grammar, and the spikes, and the power-ups, boy! Let's try that again. May I express how much difficulty I have with these enemies? I have never been able to get particularly good at fighting them. Interesting that we have... Why do we have those? Ah, okay. So, here's an issue that I have. Yes, this is something in the dev kit. These invincible blocks that deflect all of your shots. You're going to stop firing me for a second so I can get past you? So we do have these invincible blocks. And I am okay with them in a general principle, but I am cautious about using them. What is that in the bottom left corner? What is that? Oh, that's a key. That's a symbol for whether or not you've collected the key in the stage. In the bottom left corner, that tiny little circle. It'll light up when I get the key, assuming there is a key to get. Which I'm sure there is, because it's there. I'm gonna go up. And I've completely music by... Oh, that's cute. Okay. Kakabongo? Yes. Game volume should be higher. There you go. Thank you for shouting at me, wife. Okay. I think we could have had a text box doing this, but it's kind of fun to have, you know, this spelled out. But yes, the invincible blocks. The music better now there? I feel like it is very easy to skimp on good level design by just saying, oh, well, if I put this here... I'm sorry, I'm being yelled at again. Hang on. What? I don't know. Sorry, I keep trying to get this thought out, and it's just not working! Something about... Oh, yeah, so those blocks make it very easy to just say, you know what, I could make a challenge where it is difficult to hit those particular enemies, but instead I'm just going to make it physically impossible, so I don't really need to work too hard on getting the challenge set up in a way that there's going to naturally be a challenge regardless of what weapon you're using. So, not that I'm not accusing that of being the case here. Here's been used okay, but I'm just saying it's a very easy trap to fall into, where you can just sort of rely on, oh, well, the player just can't hit them, so I don't need to think about making this too complex to avoid making this an overly easy challenge. I don't know, there's probably a terrible explanation, but there you have it. Yeah, when I forgot to talk about the castle stages from Mega Man 2, that was actually a little intentional. What? Oh, wait. I just hit a ceiling? No, maybe not. Yeah, this is okay. I'm alright. Oh, right. Not paying attention. Alright. Whoa, tricky. Not expecting that. Toying around. Maybe this is not... Wow, okay. Oh, I like it. Tell me it's a pit. Thank you. Pit of spikes. Excellent. I thank you for making it clear that this is a checkpoint. I figured that was the case, but you have proven me right. I appreciate that. Weehoo! And I like that you are able to see in advance that the boulder spawner, you know, if you're looking at that and paying attention, that you can see what the boulder spawner does before you get there. We are going to stop, because that's how safety works. Oh, I see. Okay, so there are, it appears, there are end caps on the ones that drop boulders, and there are not end caps on the ones that have up and downs, that go up and down. I haven't worked out what weapon is most effective, but I'm pretty sure it's not this one. Yeah, that's always depressing when you use up an entire or almost an entire bar of energy on one single enemy. Wait. Oh, I was hoping to get rid of you before I do anything with that. Why is nothing working? That was just me being dumb. Sorry. Could have done better on that. See, now I'm playing... I think this is probably more indicative, and maybe it's because the... Oh no, I was wrong about the little cap on the bottom. I think this is more how I normally play when I'm first playing a Mega Man game, because this level is set up more in a traditional Mega Man fashion. It's not super gimmicky with... Oh, that's what annoys me. They don't come from the very bottom of the pit. They appear in the middle of the air, which does not give me the time to shoot them, which throws off the timing of shooting them as they come up. Okay. Like that. Whoops. I was saying something, I don't remember. Oh yeah, this is probably more indicative of how I normally play a new Mega Man game on the first try. That was completely bad. That works. Because there's a more standard level of quality now. So I can kind of expect how to play more. Oh, go into the second up and down pit? I may need to... What? All of that effort and nothing? Okay, fine. What? I'm so confused. I may come back here at some other point when I'm going to 100% the game and just clean up any spaces that I didn't visit. It's an okay level, and that's really the problem with it, though I don't think it's entirely appropriate to call it a problem. It's just a kind of there level. The lack of music doesn't help that feeling. There was a lack of music? Because you forgot to send the track. Kinda makes the music by credit section a bit weird, lol, but yeah, it's a kind of there level. I like the setup at the beginning with the reflector blocks and the Picket Man, and there's some good usage of the Concrete Man platforms, but by the end of the level, it just kinda drops off and becomes Drill Man Mark II. It's kinda sad, honestly, because I was expecting some Joe-destroying action based on the level name, but then in the end, it just ended up being a construction-y level with, like, half a dozen Hammer Joes and no other Joe family enemies. My main issue with this level is the random screen with credits to the person who made the music that were written in blocks. First of all, you could have easily used a sign, yep. And second, the ladder exiting that room drops you right onto an enemy that's nearly impossible to dodge. Yeah. Also, the lack of a boss was pretty disappointing. You should have used Gutsman. He would have fit into the destruction theme of the level nicely. The rest of the level was easy and forgettable. I still had fun with it. This level has interesting ideas, but they're often put in such a way where the player is incredibly likely to take unavoidable or hardly avoidable damage. Some objects didn't feel very calculated in their placement either, with bugs just zooming by and rock dispensers being very close to the ground, making me not want to go through the stage with only the Buster. I don't know, on that point, yeah, it should be possible to go through the stage with the Buster, but it's okay for things to be very challenging with just the Buster, and to give you a reason to use special weapons. I like how the level progresses underground, though. It's a neat change of pace, but even that has its little downside, as I found a shortcut into the underground section that skips about 2 screens of the level. The hidden music room, which used to be funny when the stage lacked music, is something many players will find on accident, as one of the up-moving platforms will crush the player into the bottom of the music room, complete with screen transition and all. Overall, neat ideas, but they're a bit chaotic. I don't even know what to say. This level design is awful. The positive judge again. Enemy choice and placement is disgusting, and the level is just frustrating overall. Doesn't even try to do anything interesting. The graphics are average, and there are quite a bit of bugs and oversights in this stage. It sucks. A Spark says, the version I played lacked any music whatsoever, and that makes this level even more boring than it actually is. When I went back to play it with the music, it wasn't exactly helped. Your name implies something that never happens. That is a shame. So what does this level accomplish? Nothing at all. Props will be given, nothing was used horrendously, you had a mix of gimmicks, but, and here's the but, the bare minimum required for placement of these gimmicks was done. Enemies also selected without much forethought, it seems. This was below average, man. You had one highlight, the Picket Man toward the start of the stage. I really thought that bit was clever, and had you built your stage around that, maybe you could have pulled something memorable off. That is your sole contribution to your creativity score, by the way. As it stands, this level simply exists. At least you put in some platforming, so that makes me think, that makes things a little more tolerable. Oh, lovely. Boss corridor, no boss. Ugh. I mean, you even put an E-tank before the corridor. The Hello Kitty? Zoop. Why wait for silly trains to take you to places when you can just use Hello Kitty wheel? CreshMan, 56th place, with Neon Man. I think I played this one? Yes. This is one that I playtested. And I don't think I saw it after my comments were incorporated, so let's see. Yeah, the one thing right off the bat that I had issue with was telling foreground from background. I feel like that's a little better than it was before. Pretty sure that's bottomless pit right there, and nothing to turn the lights back on. Now, I do like the gimmick of this stage. I think this is pretty cool, because all of a sudden, you're messing with people's perception of reality. This is a little trippy. So, whoa, hang on, this is not solid. So what's going on here is that what is solid and what is not remain consistent, but all of the graphics scroll by. So the graphics no longer match up with reality. But yeah, like, I like these towers, but they are a little too similar to foreground. And I like the Boomerang Joes. That is a nice new kind of Joe. One that I actually like. How about that? Used pretty well. Yeah, motion sickness warning, I guess I should have said. It's helpful when you have enemies like this who can kind of remind you of what the architecture is like. We'll go up this way first, because I believe there's a Noble Nickel up here. Good stuff. Oh, and you're just invincible. That is a cool look, though. No! That was controller failure. Oh. That's alright. Didn't take that long to get here. And I can skip most of this anyhow. I like the music. Catchy. Nice. Hehe. Whee! Okay, let's jump. Thank you. Party! And what is a party without bees? So I believe this is checkpoint room. This looks like checkpoint room. And I seem to recall in the initial build, well, not the initial build necessarily, but the build that I played, that the enemies were doing significantly less well at this. That those things were indestructible, which actually made this really difficult, if I'm recalling correctly. We are going to be safe. And bounce our way to victory. I'm actually reading on chat while bouncing and looking to the right, because I feel like I don't need to pay as much attention to what's going on while I'm writing this thing. What was I doing? That was spikes. I forgot. I forgot what I was doing. Sorry. Alright. Ooh. Well, I guess that's okay to scroll back and forth so you can pick up one of the power-ups if it turns out. Oh! I miscalculated! Good on you, random ceiling thing. Should play his bass afterwards? I'll consider it. I'm not particularly fond of the NES bass sprite. Oh. But I will try out all of the different goodies, at least for a little while. But frankly, you don't get to play as girls enough in platformers, so I'm just going to throw them down a pit and save them for later. Let's try this again and not die, and maybe just rush Jet through that section. Okay. This gimmick would be better if it didn't scroll. So you're saying it would be better if those ceiling things just did nothing. Why do I keep destroying that thing? What is wrong with me? Yes, I realize that shooting the flying enemies darkens the screen. I've played Mega Man 4 many, many times. I'm just so programmed to shoot everything that moves. Oh. Okay, good. Safer. It's safer now. Whee! Wait, what? Now I've completely lost my ability to fight you. Blade Kitten. I'll have to look into that. Oh! Time for more bees! Oh, the ceiling thing should actually change the platform's coordinates. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And I think that was actually one of the ideas that I had to make this better. Because it is a little headache-inducing. Like, it is a smart gimmick. And if I weren't concerned about playing in front of an audience, I would probably try a little harder to not just... No, 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 no! I knew it as soon as I hit the air. Good! Good checkpoint placement! Bravo! I thought I could hit over that platform. Yeah, well, whatever. My obsession with bees is that they are the first weapon when you hit the right scrolling, for scrolling for weapons. So they are very easy to access. They are beesy to access, if you will. And it's just kind of fun to go bees, bees, bees! Booze. Okay. We're just gonna do this. Just destroy everything with bees. Because I am obviously not quite as good at this gimmick yet as I was hoping I would be after having already played this level once. We're close to the end, though. Concerns me that there's that large pit over there that looks like it should do something. Looks like it should be a place you should go. Nope! I was gonna get hit there too. Don't you just hate that when you're like, oh no, I realized the error that I've committed! I know I'm going to get hit, and then you do. Oh, and you know what? I could be paying more attention, if I weren't trying to speed through this so much, to the configuration in the background, because if I know where I am relative to anything else... I can kind of hack the system a little bit of, let's see, so that's... There we go. I'm going to do this the smart way. Go. Yeah, I should have been watching the background, because the level layout is right there behind you. I was just so caught up in trying to memorize before the lights went, or before everything started scrolling. Yeah. Alright, even better. I remember in the version that I played, the Apache Joes were really difficult to dodge. Ah, the one where you want to dodge. Got it, got it. Original character, man, I like it. Alright. Let's see what you are vulnerable to. Yeah, I actually can't quite tell, and because my screen is so tiny, exactly what the boss is supposed to look like. Ow. Oh good, now he's just invisible altogether. Well, at least that stops the scrolling and the... I'm trying to figure out what works. Get him, Sakugane! Avenge me! The Mike and Ike blaster. Alright, let's try this. I guess I should probably lead with this, huh? Or maybe there's a reason I don't lead with this. How many of you are vulnerable to Super Arrow? I'm having a difficult time telling. I think it's maybe working? I've got 8. I'll use one. Yeah, I'm still finding this difficult to dodge, and difficult to see. I know that's part of the gimmick of, you know, the scrolling, but... Okay. Oh, of course, the one time I don't use bees, he's weak to it. This level pulls off its gimmick incredibly well, and I absolutely despise it for that. I cannot handle the weirdo holograms. They literally destroy my brain. Call me dumb, but once they activate, I just completely stop functioning and get horribly disoriented and just run into pits and have not a fun time at all. The level sets out to mess with your head with illusions, and it did it so well that my brain melted and I just did not wait. It destroyed the brain. So yeah, melting could destroy something. I want to make sure we're consistent with the brain destruction. And I just did not care to even try to beat this level legit. I was so tired of dying constantly by the end of it that I just cheated the rooms with Hornet Chaser. The boss is pretty bad too. The bouncing bullets from the Apache Joes are obnoxious, hard to kill, and deal a ton of damage. And Neon Man himself also will eat your health alive if you so much as graze him. I appreciate that you were able to pull off this gimmick really well. It's probably like the best illusion-type gimmick in Mega Man I've seen. The issue is that it does its job far too well and horribly broke my brain, and broke it and then melted it, and just led me to constantly dying over and over because I slightly misjudged where the platforms would be. The outside sections look really cool, but the inside section, where oh wait, I didn't drink before reading this. Here we go, now we're back on track. We're just the same backgrounds over and over and didn't really look good. I didn't really like the holographic sections either, and it almost feels like some parts of the stage were designed for the player to destroy the holograms with Hornet Chaser, because setting through certain sections is really hard if you don't. That's not a good thing to do to the player. The boss was also way too hectic, and that Copter Joe just said... You know, I find it funny. This sticks out to me because Joopy says Copter Joe rather than Apache Joe, and I'm realizing how many times we're talking about those helicopter enemies. It just sends it over the edge. Overall, this level had a lot of potential, but bad execution. Well, the concept for this is certainly interesting. However, kind of like my accent all of a sudden, yikes, it's one of those concepts which encourages the player to get rid of all sense of how they're trying to talk. Altogether during their playthrough. During a Buster-only run of this stage can easily get very tedious, as the player has to wait often, complete cycles of the background in order to not put themselves at risk of falling off. Coupled with the added enemies later in the stage, using Hornet Chaser to just get rid of the entire driving point safer... What? Driving point of the level, I'm sorry, I'm having a really difficult time reading this one for some reason, is a much safer option, which also will make the level a lot more fun to play. The boss fight is not much better, unfortunately. With the background in Apache Joe's distracting from the actual fight, and the projectiles blending in with the slowly moving background. I didn't have a lot of fun with this level, and I think that while its concept is creative, it needs a lot of adjustments in order to be even remotely usable in a fun environment. I don't see how the weird screen distorting effect was any good at all. If you fail to, quickly kill the enemy that causes it, the view has already screwed itself, and not dying becomes a case of trial and error. Not to mention that the level design doesn't suit such a mechanic to begin with. Granted, there were some cool ideas, but it's just an average level. It's not very fun, looks bad, and is executed awfully. Mr. Sunshine. I joke. We all have different judgment styles and different things that we focus on. Nice beam! Yay! I think that's what that sounds like. Okay, on a serious note, your weakest aspect of your stage is the graphics, as a lot of stuff was off-style, particularly the original enemies in the Master. You know what? I can live with lackluster graphics. I will give you props for making sure things match the color palette of your level, though. As for your stage, your primary gimmick was really, really cool. I love the idea behind it. Sure, it occasionally required you to memorize, but checkpoints were well-placed, mostly, so that helped a big deal, to limit the frustration. Where things get kind of wonky, things get kind of monkey, is some of the enemy layouts on the screens with your gimmick. Many are overcrowded and expects too much from the player. Fewer enemies on these screens would have helped. This stage a big deal. The Grey Propeller enemy is the biggest offender. He has too much health and nearly always placed in locations where he's fine on his own, but mixed with other enemies was painful. There's one spot which involves jumping over a shield attacker in said Grey Propeller above an instant death pit, which I was kind of annoying. I could eventually clear this area with practice, but it took quite more practice than most people would have patience for. Still, this level was enjoyable all told, if a bit hard for its own good. The Robot Master was really fun to fight, see the deviations and opinions again, and a really great cap to your level. He was difficult, but very doable, and very satisfying to take down Buster only. Next to your gimmick idea, I think your execution of this guy is the highlight of your stage. Can I stand next to the vote picture with Melon Man for a moment? Where do we see that? Oh, there it is. So I'm standing next to the vote picture with Melon Man. What do you need about this? I don't know. Let me... Oh, Joopy doesn't have mod? Well, let me fix that. Congratulations, you're a mod! Gonna be a modder. Now we just need a fodder. Metal K1000! You'll need to swipe your Metro card to get on the subway! I don't know that I have one. I'm sure there are really interesting things in the background I can't see, because it's really tiny, and also it looks like it's green and red, which are not good colors to mix for me. I'm gonna get that bright man next time I see him! He thinks he's the smartest robot master around! What a hothead! Oh, the puns. Next up! 55th, the Mega Fan, 19XDX. Jungle Base, score 25. So we are now solidly in the 50% good categories. Wait a second, I know this music. Yes, the judges get mods so that if you disagree with their opinions, they can ban you. Okay, this is basically Napalm Man stage with slightly different graphics. Lots of large sections. So I appreciate there's a little bit of breathing room between the tigers, but I don't think there needs to be quite that much. Though maybe that's only because I don't have them all chasing after me. Ooh, okay. What? Oh, well, yeah, okay. Angel Electric, is that you? I'll mod you too. Angel Electric. Invalid username. I can't spell your name. Let me try this, I'm sorry. Yes, there you go, you're a mod, hooray. Hopefully that's the person I'm thinking of and not some random person who happens to have a similar name to one of the judges. I deserve that. I'm not actually all that impressed so far. Because this is all very, very standard platforming. It's getting a little repetitive. That rock was ridiculous. And it's overly similar to Napalm Man stage. Like, I don't mind reusing some of the graphics. Like here, okay, so now we're starting to mix up some tile sets here and some enemy types. Like, this is better. I'm better with this. This type of challenge with Hammer Chose has been done forever. lots and lots of times. Who else wants to be a moderator? I'm just giving this stuff away! Who else? Oh. Gary, how are you not a mod? Yes, Iceman's a moderator too. Get back to the game. Oh no. Okay, I thought I couldn't unpause the game for a second, I got concerned. Okay. Is everyone a moderator now, please? I think it's important to make sure that you include some sort of platforming type gimmick with your levels, that it's not just straight up all enemy challenges all the time. It's okay to have some enemy-only challenges with no bottomless pits, no spikes, no wacky gimmicks of any kind. But I think the levels tend to be more forgettable if they don't have some sort of tricky platforming. Even if the enemies themselves start creating some tricky platforming moments. Well, that didn't work as well as I was thinking it would, but that's okay. Because this level isn't bad at all, but it's not standing out all that much. And I think that that balance of enemies and tricky platforming, like here, okay, now we're starting to get somewhere. Although it is still very easy to just stand back here out of harm's way. Watch me fall into the pit anyhow. Do-do-do-do-do. But then, yeah, you also run the risk of too many enemies getting into enemy spam territory. Well, no. You shouldn't be able to do that. There's no reason to do that. And I think as a general rule, you should avoid making two-way passages, you know, aside from stuff like ladders that are unavoidable, but you should avoid making two-way passages if there's not a legitimate gameplay reason for needing to go back. So, unless you could potentially get yourself stuck and need to reset a puzzle, or if you have, like an item that you can only get from entering in a certain angle, or something like that, then it's okay. Well, there is a difference between lots of enemies and enemy spam. You know, I think we're too quick to throw around the term enemy spam, because anytime we see more than like 4 enemies on a screen, we're like, it's spam! Well, not necessarily. It depends on how challenging it is to... Let's see if I can time this right. It depends on how challenging it is to stay alive, how on top of you the enemies remain. Like, oh, I was kind of hoping for a boss. Yeah, we have so many preloaded bosses, I'm surprised that nothing was placed there. But, yeah, I've just forgotten. I've lost my train of thought. Weirdly designed level. Most of the obstacles you can basically just blow through with a charge shot or effortlessly slide past. Oh, enemy spam, that's what we were talking about. The level also doesn't play terribly well because the majority of enemies that take more than a charge shot are Sniper Joes. The enemies seem less placed to be a threat and more placed to just be in your way. It's kind of a blah level. There's effort, and the theme is okay, music is pretty great, the design just isn't there. That was a pretty boring level. It was mostly just running to the right, charging your buster, and shooting enemies without giving it a second thought. There were some rooms where you didn't even have to stop moving. I kind of like the use of the different tile sets, but there were a few rooms toward the end that were a bit hard on the eyes, trying to make it more clear what's a background and what isn't. What's funny is that I've had other stages where I've had much more trouble figuring out what's foreground and background than that one. Sorry, I'm trying to turn on a lamp at the same time. Oh, there we go. The lamp is on. You're all excited to know that. A pretty nice rompy jungle level. It presents its ideas in an organized fashion and expands on some of them throughout the level. Sadly, it often forgets about some of the assets it introduced, making the level feel more segmented than coherent in parts. It also likes to throw in a little too many enemies at eye, occasionally? at 1, occasionally? With airborne enemies serving as a projectile dispenser that can't easily be taken care of unless you fire hornets or throw swords at them. I love that visual, like, fire hornets or throw swords at them. Like, that's just what I'm doing every day in my regular life. A method not otherwise encouraged in the level. As far as the mutation of setups is concerned, the level leans toward repetition more so than mutation, with many consecutive instances of the same premise being very similar to each other. Nonetheless, this is a fun level to play through that presents itself as fair toward the player and just needs that polish in order to be much more satisfying to play. There's not a lot to say about this level. Nothing in it feels either awful or awesome. The level design is actually fairly decent, but it's not something that is particularly amazing. Admittedly, this stage does look a bit too similar to Napalm Man's stage, but it still has a few pretty decent ideas. Other than that, there's just not much I can say. It's decent, but nothing too spectacular here. I get it! Going for the Contra theme. Fair enough. Mega Man is not a run-and-gun game, it's a full-on platformer. You really can't just get away with plonking enemies willy-nilly and expect it to be fun. Even Contra on the NES bothered with stage gimmicks. This did nothing, at all. There's nothing horrible about this, but why not explore the dev kit a little? There is a metric ton of gimmicks in there, more than enemies. Please use them. Also, you also step the checkpoint before the mid-bosses and not after, meaning that if you die to the latter half of the stage, you're refighting the mid-bosses again. To give you some credit, even on overcrowded screens, it never felt unmanageable, and that's where I'm getting about the heavy enemy population versus enemy spam, is how much room do you have to maneuver, how manageable is it, how likely are you to get cheap-shotted. And the look of the stage was absolutely fine, if generic. You're decent at getting tile sets to work together, and the layout wasn't bad, but boy was this stage horrifically dull. At least some of the other enemy-only stages managed to have some originality behind them. Also, base corridor, no boss or climax. If you weren't going to use any other Mega Man tropes, why use this one? Slashman says, I'm on my way to the zoo. I always loved lions, but I've never been able to see one in person. 54th place, RadzPrower, Orbital Station, score 25. This is another one that I play-tested, and this is another one where the changes that were incorporated really significantly improved the level. So, I will reiterate, as the judges have been reiterating, please, please, make sure you play-test your levels extensively. Wait, I didn't play this one. This is another one, I'm sorry. There was another one that is actually an Orbital Station that I did play, that I was thinking of. I bet you there's a Noble Nickel in there. The Moon! Always a good musical choice. DuckTales. I love Smooth McGroove's take on this. Yeah. Could use some more. Yeah, I know. Skip Teleporter for a level that's this far up in the tiers. I'm just spinning around for the fun of it. Wait, what are you? Oh, you're disabled! I see. I didn't realize you could do that. That's cool. What? Watch what I'm doing. Don't read chat so much. Oh, nice! Oh, I like that a lot! The airlock's open. That's really cool. That is really charming. I like that a lot. Not as low gravity as I was expecting. Like the background scrolling. Backwards hippo is good. We should probably fix it to a forwards hippo. Because I think that was something that was changed in the dev kit at some point. Does Eddie look smaller to you? And I'm suspicious, because he keeps giving me E-tanks. And where did that other door go? Ah, I thought I could make it through. Oh, wow, okay. So, in Ojo's, my Mega Man fan game that I'm working on. Wait, what? Slightly confused. You can slide under the crystals that the Crystal Joes fire. I am a little confused, not sure what is going on. Okay. Does it have to do with the windows? Can I get up there backwards somehow? No? I am not sure. That says warning. Well, I bet the wire adapter was probably disabled so that you would have to work harder to get through that section. Otherwise, if you didn't have it, yep. Oh boy. That's a cool introduction, I like that. I like how you got turned into a boss. Oops. Oh, threw up my rhythm. Cool. Doo-doo-doo. Boss Whooper? I think it's Whopper. It doesn't look bad because I missed every single noble nickel? Okay. This has to be one of the most baffling levels I've ever played. Why are there just random unmarked fields where you lose control and get slammed into spikes? Why are there random unmarked platforms that flip gravity? Why are there completely useless anti-grav sections that have no gameplay whatsoever? Why are there warning signs? What is happening? Basically, my experience playing the level, I had to look in the editor to find like half the nickels here, because there's literally an alternate path that you get just by knowing one of the ceilings is randomly going to flip your gravity and take you to a completely different path. Then there's an alternate path on the alternate path that you access by doing the very intuitive thing of walking off a ledge into spikes, but suddenly anti-grav activates and it carries you through a hole in the spikes? And besides the frustrating unmarked and unintroduced gravity stuff, there's really not much to it. The boss fight with Whopper is incredibly annoying because the Whopper is really high up and it makes it hard to hit. I didn't find that problematic. Wire is disabled for some reason and you have to collect it, except it doesn't benefit you in any way, shape, or form, except the one spot where I used it. It's just a completely bizarre level that almost seems more focused on actually putting and making the custom assets be there instead of actually making a good level out of them. I will give points for the elevator, though. That was pretty neat. Too bad it's literally impossible to find unless you want to test every possible situation you can die in. It sounds like, not the Whopper Raven Star, but the Angry Whopper that they had at Burger King for a limited time that tasted like pain. I ran right, fought some enemies, went through some random wind, fought a hippo, went down, went left, went through gravity with seemingly no reason to exist, went right. The gravity or you? That sort of sounds like an existential problem that we're getting into now. Fought some more enemies, saw some nice custom assets, fought a boss. It's really just a mini-boss, and then the level ended. What just happened? This level has certain difficulties in introducing its concepts to the player. The ideas it has all come and go as they please, without proper introductions or indication as to when they're active. The elephant in the room here is the moon jump mechanic, which, while also awkward to control, isn't consistently active between areas, not even based on the environment. When I met with it the first time, I considered it a glitch due to the suction mechanic. And, yeah, I'm losing my accents, folks. I can't keep this up for a whole day. I could barely keep it up for like 30 seconds, but a whole day. I'm really struggling. In the previous room, also altering player movement. The level spike dropping mechanic was also not properly introduced until the end of the level, while one of the noble nickels requires it. Solid nickel, too, is hidden in a very... said nickel, too, is hidden in a very, very obscure place. That I couldn't find after several playthroughs and jumping into random pits. If the level was restructured to better make use of the spike dropping, and if it had an indication as to when the moon jump is active, plus a safe zone to introduce it, it might have been much better and way less confusing. This is a very good level. The design isn't perfect. I can see that some sections feel either unnecessary or buggy, however. The stage layout is very interesting, and I found the main gimmick pretty awesome, although it is glitchy. I do think the level lacks polish in areas, but otherwise it's really fun. I've seen several levels so far that clearly weren't tested. There are others I can't believe someone had the nerve to submit. This is both. Why? Why would you put in such a complex gimmick and not test it? This level caused me so many soft locks. Mega Man stuck in midair like a lemon. This is actually unplayable. Don't get me wrong, cool concept, horrid execution, absolutely horrid. So even if your primary gimmick was functionally busted, it usually doesn't even make sense when it does work. There's invisible gravity switches. Why are we'll stick with Dr. Wily now. Why not? That's fun, right? Not knowing where the level will suddenly randomly switch up the direction you fall in. Random movements the player just can't control Mega Man. None of this was any graphical indication of why this is occurring at all. Yeah, no, this is horrendous. By the way, your boss doesn't even want to face in my general direction. Quality. I still contest that the... if this was done really, really early on during the testing phase of the engine before we really said, okay, now it's final, go make your levels, I do recall the mini-bosses swapping direction, which way they were facing at some point for some reason. Please, learn to test your levels, if not by other people, but at least yourself, even once! Alright, Chillman... Wait, why is Chillman here twice? The air conditioning on this train is incredible! 53rd place, Dylan Labiuk, Shovel Knight, with a score of 25. We have 2 signs. I haven't played Shovel Knight yet, it's on my list, I want to get to it soon. Please don't sue me, Yacht Club Games. This stage is a series of mini challenges using the aesthetics from Shovel Knight. Pretty. Yeah, I need to get with the times as far as modern games go, and yes, your stream is choppy, my game is choppy here for some reason. But yeah, I need to get with the times because I haven't played Shovel Afternoon yet, and I haven't played Undertale yet, and those are 2 that I'm really trying hard not to have spoiled for me. Which means I guess I should probably start playing them soon. Also, I have a Mega Man fan game on my list to stream called Mega Man X Undertale. So in order for me to play that, I want to kind of have a little background on what I'm playing first. I don't know what's foreground and background! Oh, that's right, you get smushed. I would rather if it just dump you off the platform. Oh well. What? Ugh! Not the best checkpoint placement. I appreciate that there is a checkpoint, but oh. I don't know. This is another one of those, is it obvious that I should go this way, or is this subtle enough that I shouldn't be going? Help me find the cerulean coward Shovel Knight. What did we just... What? I'm sorry, I'm trying to read chat, trying to figure out what Pyro just noticed. No, that didn't quite work right. I should wait until it's lower and then jump off it instead of trying to slide. Unless I can go over, that's even better. I wonder if that's intentional. Cool. Once we're done with this tier, I will change costumes. Just remind me. Oh, the scores don't have decimals. Levels frequently beat each other by 0.2 points. Wow, okay, wait, what am I doing? Okay, I see what's going on here. This is a clever use of these platforms. Kinda like that. But the big question is, how much of this is directly ripped from Shovel Knight and just replaced with Mega Man assets, and how much of this is just sort of loosely inspired by, and this is all original creations. Okay. Okay. Not sure what the upside-down bombs are all about. Are they just there to block your shots? That's not what I meant to do. Okay, let's try this. I'm glad to see that there's been a pretty good mix of enemies from all of the different games. There's a few types of enemies, again, Sniper Joes, Hammer Joes, that we tend to be fixated on, but I'm seeing a good selection. There's a lot of stuff in the dev kit to use, and I'm pleased that so many things are getting love. When I made my level, I was really trying to choose gimmicks and Well, actually, I picked a theme. I'll talk about that more when I get to my level, wherever that is. I tried to pick a theme that I didn't think a lot of people were going to use, with a lot of enemies and obstacles that I didn't think were going to be as popular, which turned out to be completely wrong, because I've seen several stages now that are, like, using my stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not unique anymore! Alright, off we go. The entire reason I'm making a game featuring Sniper Joes is because I am so displeased with how improperly they've been used. I don't even know if improperly is the word, just how disappointingly they've been used. Why do I get the feeling I should have gone right first? Ah! Because I'm supposed to go left. My gems, the vessel in my ocean, your very presence tarnishes. Interesting. Whee! Okay, I got concerned for a second. That seems wrong for some reason. But yeah, my hope with Ojos is to show people there are so many better ways you can be using even the most... I was trying to jump. You can be using even the most basic Joes. I bet there's a noble nickel there that I missed. Oh! Ow! Ow! Okay, this is one of those do it right or pay the price kind of. This was not the best thing to use. No, no, no! This is irritating. I'd almost rather just get killed off and have to start from a checkpoint again than have to redo whole sections that aren't technically necessary to proceed. Sort of my issue that I have with, like, the Wario Land games. What is it? Wario Land 2 in particular. There's one or two where you can't die. You just fall down a hole or something. And then you have to go back, work your way back up to the one place where you were just to get one more attempt. Okay. What? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Take that, eggs! Oh, I didn't need that, apparently. Should probably want to get up there. Well, actually, I don't need that. I'm concerned. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Because even though there are enemies... Oh, that's a good place for a checkpoint, thank you. Even though there are enemies indicating where the walls end, it's not clear entirely if these are just platforms floating in space or something else. Spectre Knight. This is no place for the living, mortal. Wow! In case you had thoughts of destroying them with bees... Oh, this is cool. Conveyor belt fight. Ah! Polar Knight. The bitter cold will claim you! Oh boy, it's a sledding level.
Fly, fly.
Okay. Which is looking so far a fair bit like Frostman's stage. Oh gosh! This didn't even occur to me that you could do this. This is excellent. Okay. There's no way I'm able to dodge any of this, but the... No! I was trying to jump too! Ah, but the novelty of that was excellent. Okay.
Fly, fly.
Let's try this instead. Let's see how this works.
Jump, jump. Jump, jump. Jump, fly, fly.
You can't have it both ways. Either I jump or slide. Yes, much better. Oh, not so good. Okay, and I'm waiting for there to be a noble nickel in like the worst possible place. Maybe not. Labiuk! Sorry everyone, I have been super busy and wanted to make Shovel Knight a boss, but sadly I had to prioritize other things going on in my life at the moment. Thanks for playing! Actually, I would have just been okay with the text box saying something like, well, that was a really tough challenge, you made it all the way, here, have this, you know, reward or something like that. Steal thy shovel! So I do appreciate the game designer being or the stage designer being up front about why there's no boss fight, but I think you could have put a spin on it that didn't make it seem like a boss was missing. Adorable level in general, and I really like how you sort of replicated gimmicks from the original Shovel Knight stages with the pre-made assets, like the fire blocks from the Explodatorium replaced with Explodatorium. Okay, I need to play this game now. Replaced with the fire pillars. I'm sorry, I've not been reading anything at all on chat, so. Okay, I'll steal my steak sauce. Replaced with the fire pillars, among other things. Though, I think its idea as a Shovel Knight in review stage is its downfall. It's pretty unfocused, even if it is cute. Some enemies are used like once ever, and there's some pretty weird design decisions too, like the spike drop in the treasure ship, where you drop onto MM6 platforms, flip platforms, and you have barely any time to actually react and jump off. Also, the sled section is pretty mostly because of the gravity flipping section, because it's pretty much impossible to dodge the cannon propellers as they're coming at you. The usage of the gimmicks also suffers too, because of, again, its status as a game in review level. The usage of the bouncy lava especially stands out to me because there's like literally 2 screens of it and 1 enemy total. But while the level design is pretty weird, I think the level still manages to be good with the little touches. I like how you put the Jelly Beetle in the Mole Knight section, and all the encounters with the knights that earn you noble nickels. Adorable level overall. I have no idea what that level was, but I somehow managed to beat it without dying this first time I played it. The second time I wasn't so lucky. Bleh. This set of challenges is kind of a mess, with more gimmicks than any I've seen in this contest. That can't possibly be true. There's some weird stuff in here that I highly doubt many other people did in their levels, like the upside-down Frostman sled. There are also some parts I really didn't care for, like the castle challenge with all the clouds, and the invisible platforming section. Also, I've never played Shovel Knight, and I'm no graphical genius, but I'm pretty sure a lot of those tile sets weren't used correctly. Blee. When will my server have custom emoji? I have no idea how to do that. Someone educate me. This stage feels like it was designed solely on the premise of Shovel Knight aesthetic, and I feel like the coherency and structure suffer under it a lot. There are general ideas in the stage, but they don't persist long enough to become interesting at all, causing the stage to end up as an amazingly looking reference to Shovel Knight that fails to live up in terms of gameplay. Unfortunately, great ideas don't always turn out the way you expect them to. So is the case with this level. While I seriously respect the amount of creativity put into the obstacle and enemy selection and variety, this stage suffers from level design that just feels random and often unfair, as well as messed up graphics, in addition to bugs. In other words, it's one really interesting level that could have been fantastic, but I'm afraid the problems relating to the bad level design prevent this from being a reality. Oh, well, I think the fault lies with this stage... I think the fault with this stage lies in your concept. Lots of mini-stages are not really a good idea. Gimmicks and enemies were chosen at seeming random without thought to the theming of the area they were placed in. And then the biggest crime, you did absolutely nothing with them beyond the bare basics. I found exactly one area creative and well thought out, Spectre Knight segment. This was your highlight, and I won't lie, I thought pretty nifty. The idea there was nice. And then it was over, and I moved on to the lackluster Polar Knight segment. Just, sorry, this was poor, and felt more like you were just messing about with a dev kit, and the vast majority of assets had the bare minimum of implementation. Your Mole Knight segment introduced a gimmick, the slime, and then ended as you introduced it? Why? My recommendation? Ditch the idea behind this. Stick to one area of a game where when converting, choose appropriate gimmicks for your segment, then really squeeze said gimmicks to their limit. Spectre Knight's area shows you have a few neat ideas, but one good segment out of several does not a good stage make. As an aside, your low aesthetic score is due to so many out-of-place tiles, cut-offs, misplaced and misaligned new assets, and using tiles inappropriately. I mean, you even use animated tiles without their animation. That's a sticking point, and I don't know if it's always a fair criticism. Just because something can be animated doesn't necessarily mean that it's the developer's choice to use it in that fashion. There's also a potential soft lock in Spectre Knight's area. There are moving collision tiles, and it's entirely possible to get yourself stuck if you've been relying on weapons in your stage. This is quite impressive, considering there is in fact an auto-tiler in the engine, so how you manage that one is beyond me. You are also missing certain pits. The one other redeeming aspect of this level, and I'm sure most will disagree with me, is some of the nickels. They're well hidden, although the one in Mole Knight's segment is a little silly. Okay then. Why do they make me keep the air cool in here? I hate this job. Alright. I can understand not liking the upside-down sled because of it being very, very difficult to dodge the enemies there. Because if you're talking about fair enemy placement and making sure that it's a challenge that can be done buster only, if you're leaning more towards the game design side of it and leaning away from the creativity aspect of it, I can absolutely see an argument for that. For me personally, creativity goes a long way, even if it's not executed as well as it could be. 52nd, Yoshiatom, poorly named level. Love it. Score 26. No, just making a level upside down is not creative, but it is an interesting twist because it does change the slide mechanics. Oh boy, another skippable level. This is concerning. Alright. Oh. These are already giving me problems. I don't know, something about the way they're programmed in this dev kit makes them harder to jump on than I remember them being in Mega Man 9. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this. Hang on. The music's very faint and incidental. Maybe it's just that the volume is low. Okay. Stuck. Okay. Oh, does Roll's hair hang down when she's on the flippy tiles? I did not notice that. That was cool. Whoop. Oh! No! Get off! Get off! This is probably not the best way to do this, but I can't imagine fighting this boss, honestly. Taco Blade, you say? Whoa, hang on a second. How do we get up there? Maybe we fall from somewhere else? I'm not sure. That was more trouble than it was worth to beat the mini-boss that way. Ow. But it reduced the amount of thinking that I needed to do. And that's always a plus, when you can turn off your brain a little bit and just say, you know what, this one time, I don't need to platform properly. Aha! Sneaky, sneaky. I said, sneaky, sneaky. It looks like I should be able to go through here, but I can't! I know your weakness! I know your secret! I can't slide, I can't... Oh, unless that's an exit only, and I was supposed to go through... I am just now seeing that there is a lighter color to it. I don't think this is a very good section right here. This looks more dangerous than it should be. Ah! Yeah, didn't do that one well. Yeah, I just saw that the wall was a slightly different color. Oh, I don't want to go back here. So maybe I can enter from the left side. Huh. I'm having difficulty reaching the top of those. Okay, we're gonna try and go up. Actually, I don't even know that that wall on the right is a different color at all. Oh, that's because we're not there yet. Let's hope this one works. Doesn't look like it works very well. Oh, it works enough. Okay. Yeah, a checkpoint here would have been good. Somewhere around here, not necessarily this specific screen. Okay, yes, you can get up there. It's just very unsafe looking. Okay. This is... I'm gonna do this the safe but harmful way. So I guess that's kind of I'm gonna do this the contradictory way. Because at least this way, I know that I'm gonna get through here. I don't... especially without a checkpoint, I'm not willing to try doing that right again. Again, in Tornado Man's stage, I was very okay. This actually looks like the exact same configuration from Tornado Man's stage. Well, not anymore. But yeah, in Tornado Man's stage, I had a little bit of trouble with these, but with a bit of practice, they're not so bad. But something about the way they're programmed in this engine just it doesn't feel quite right. Like it's just off by enough that I mess up everything. You know, I was going to put Rush Coil here, like, well, if I fall on the spikes, I'll have a safety net. No. Yeah, there are several levels lower down in the ratings that I liked much more than I'm liking this one. There's some okay ideas in here, but I'm not really getting a sense of overall character from the level. You know, it just kind of feels like a bunch of enemies all over the place. The aesthetics, they're not bad, they just don't really give me a sense of place. And I'm really skeptical now about how safe any of this is. Like, this jump I could probably make, but I feel like it's probably a little unreasonable somehow. I'll take that. Use more triple blade. Okay. We do tell Binary Code Discord. Hey, a boss! It's a boss fight! Not the boss fight I was hoping for, but we'll work with it. Oh man! Oh, that's not good. Oh wait, does he kind of jump to match where I am if I'm in the air? When he does that, maybe not. Whew, okay. And that's that one. I appreciate that you build a pretty good level out of the Tornado Man platforms that I hate with a passion, by the way. But oh my gosh, some of these rooms are so much garbage. I hate the room with the cannon and the two management 2 management platforms, magnet platforms. It's incredibly finicky and almost luck-based, maybe, to time yourself so that you'll get the right frame of animation to jump on these ridiculous jumps. And there's spikes everywhere, so it's really hard to reposition yourself. I really wanted to beat this level without special weapons, but that room just killed me so much, and the checkpoints is so far back. It's just friggin' warp. The other issue I have is the one room with the Piri Pari Joes, Beery, and stationary magnet platform. The last jump before the ladder is ridiculously precise, and it's really dumb. Other than that, the level was fine, though I was a bit disappointed that the final stretch of the level just kind of dropped the gimmick in favor of enemy challenge. It kind of took a few playthroughs to really enjoy it, though. My initial experience with the stage was mainly just getting killed on the first few screens because they're pretty difficult to deal with on a blind playthrough. Overall, the stage has good design ideas, but I don't think it turns out to be very fun, mainly because of that one room. That one jump, and some rooms being very overwhelming for first playthroughs. Thanks for reminding me why I hated Tornado Man's stage. You went ham? I guess you went ham with those platforms. This level has a very inconsistent difficulty curve. Some sections were cakewalks, while others took me several attempts to beat legitimately, and were just insane Rain plus Tornado Man platform sections. Not only that, but this level was annoying. The Tornado Man platforms are very finicky in this engine, making a lot of the jumps come up short. The room with the shield attacker near the beginning is a good example. Also, there should have been more checkpoints. And more attention to where I was. Oh, yeah, I guess that was the end of it. Sorry, I read your message on what your goals were with this level were, and I think these platforms are at the core of most of its problems. It's not so much about your usage of them, but rather as the platforms themselves, as they make every corner, every scenario more stressful than it needs to be. I really appreciate the effort, though, and while I didn't have much fun getting shot into spikes or pits from mistimed button press, pulling the long platforming section across the pit off properly felt pretty great. This level also somewhat suffers from a tendency to put in a bit too many enemies on screen at once, especially near the start, and there is a really silly jump near the end, which got me jumping into a ceiling spike more often than I want to admit. It's kinda sad how I feel this stage would have been more fun if only it used the more standard guts lifts, or a variety of different platforms as its main focus. Seriously? Why does this level have such awful level design? That is a little harsh. I can't even count the amount of times extreme precision and timing was needed in order to get through the obstacles and enemies without taking damage, or without dying, not to mention the absolutely intolerable mini-boss and serious lack of checkpoints. It's a darn shame that good ideas and beautiful graphics are greatly overshadowed by the pitiful level design and endless frustration caused by trying to get through the stage. Ow. I wonder how many people will actually attempt to take on the challenge you set them, or just use the weapons to bypass everything. People are going to either love the stage or despise it. I'm leaning more to the latter, but that, admittedly, might be my personal distaste for the gimmick in question. It is mentioned during the stage whether or not you could make the Tornado Man platforms fun. Well, they're certainly competently executed, I'll give you that. Some of the situations they're stuck in, though, not so much. Strangely enough, your biggest problem might just be the enemies used and the sheer number of them. The earliest screens of the stage are a bit crazy with the amount of beaks placed, where very little control is given to the player to safely dodge stuff. It's all rather infuriating. Simply toning down the enemies could have made this more enjoyable. I think the early screens are amongst the worst of the stage, as the later segments start becoming much more tolerable and better in the design. I even like the Spike Crazy segment just past the checkpoint for what it's worth. It's a crazy backwards difficulty curve, I have to admit. The first time through this, I got rather annoyed, and shut off the second time. And shut off the game for a bit. The second time was a bit better. The opening areas really are rather rubbish compared to the later areas, and start the level on a bit of a sour note. Luckily, the rest of the stage and general competence of everything makes up for it. The Noble Nickels were sneaky as sin. I think the second one probably could have had an altered or redrawn graphic to make it not so unlikely that it is hidden where it is, because even the first one will likely be bypassed the first time you go through the screen. And that one does have a recolored graphic. Finally, hi Div Kit Boss! Okay. I saw 2 red robots down here earlier today. I think they were arguing about something. Ribbit. 51st. TrainMan 2177WS, Enhanced Mobility, score 26, Flashman 85, going to turn on another lamp in this room. Flashman 85, back from turning on another lamp in this room. Oh boy. This is a fun kind of remix, if not entirely in the 8-bit musical style of everything else we've been hearing. Do I need those? I do not need those, but climbing up that ladder seems like something easier. Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. This is another one where I am really not clear on which direction to go. I think one thing that helps directionality is making sure that you are passing through each room in the, with the progression of the enemies. So, in order to clear a room at all, you need to complete all of the challenges that are there. Is that it? I don't actually need either of those. Wait! But yeah, you should have to clear whatever the challenge is on the screen before being able to proceed, or plow through it. That really helps orienting the player on which direction to go next. This level starts off amazing, and ends amazing, but the middle of it is just really kind of blah. I really love your unorthodox usage of the Galaxy Man portals. The ending shaft is really fun and creative, and I heart it. I wish the whole level was built around it, though, because the rest of the level is less than great. Do both exits? I will... Okay, fine, I'll go back in and do another one of the exits. Look, the idea is to go... the idea is to sample all of these levels and get back to 100% completing them later, but okay, fine. I'll go beat the rest of the level. Wait, wasn't I already here? Ah. Yes, I do like that these are effectively just like bouncy platforms. I somehow missed that, and I'm going to probably say I'm better off for it. I know, I'm wrecked the whole stage. Go back and do it again with the sled! That random platform makes me suspicious. It checks out. Follow me! I told you, don't follow me! Please, save me now! I don't need to think about shooting and platforming. Do I actually need that? Yeah, I could use that. Oh good, it's not a bottomless pit. I would be very sad. Thank you. It's nice of you to come to my rescue. I feel like right is probably the way I want to go. What is going on? Help! Oh, and now you decide to start changing him up. This is the right level of gimmickless enemy stuff, because the platforms... You know, I was talking the one level that... the one that was using a lot of Napalm Man assets. Should I get on the sled? I don't know that I should get on the sled. I think everybody else is No, I should get on the sled. I'm just gonna miss the Noble Nickel, I know it. Okay, not appropriate enemies for this kind of thing. Yeah, I like get on the sled, don't get on the sled. But I like that you have the option to skip it. But yeah, even though there's not a lot of gimmick stuff going on here, the platforms are arranged in such a way that these normal basic enemy challenges are tricky, but not overwhelming. What? Why? The dog sled. Okay. Alright, let's try this again. We got infinite lives, so we might as well. Right. Right. I wonder if Jewel Satellite is going to be helpful here. Also, developers, could you please do me a favor and stop putting invisible spikes along the right side of every room? Alright. If we have to, we're going to start using Super Arrow through here. I don't think I care for the dealing with the sled. I think the way to guarantee that somebody's going to use the sled is to make it that you can't cross a gap without it. Well, at least without using special weapons. Or maybe to have them slide into position. Like they slide through onto the next screen and then they can't help but land. Oh, that is not what I wanted to use that on. This is where the skip should be. Interesting thought, yeah. What am I doing? Ah! I missed you! I missed you multiple times! I also like how the pandas are always surprised. Yeah, that's not cool. And I bet I'm just gonna die. Because I'm not sure what's going on here. Ah! The game lagged for a second. Okay, well at least you have a second to kind of prep yourself. Why is this moving faster? What? I didn't even appear. Okay, this is really, really nerve-wracking. Save me somehow! Okay. Alright. This is a good challenge, but I would be much less on edge right now if I had any sense that there was a checkpoint after that sledding section before this. Let's hide behind the pillar where nobody can look over our shoulder as we're reading this. This level starts off amazing, and things happen, and we read half of this already, and they'll just hit you and over and kill you, and it's just not fun. The sled sections are also pretty dumb, because not only do they lack any sign commands, we are asking for jump, jump, slide, slide, they're also incredibly short, and the second one will mainly just consist of you getting hit by the enemy spam over and over. Also, that second exit is entirely pointless. The level really gets brought up, though, by the amazing final section. It's so good! I just wish the whole level was built around it, though, because when the level loses focus, it just kind of falls apart. This level was a bit of a disaster, both in terms of design and aesthetic. It really felt like blocks and enemies were just placed wherever and then left there. The sled sections were completely skippable, and it was honestly easier to fly over them and shoot enemies with Rush Jet than to actually use the sled, because those sections were very hard to memorize without dying several times due to the many enemies. Also, I think slopes would have helped through, especially the initial screen after that last sled, just to be able to go through without needing to be very precise and you're jumping right off the bat. many times due to the many enemies. I don't think that part was tested enough. The part at the end with all the galaxy portals was cool, though, but it was sometimes unfair because you couldn't see what was above you. This level exists in a weird state between interesting teleporter setups and enemy spam, the latter of which also bleeds in the second of this level's snowboarding segments. I really enjoyed the Spike Fall and Spike Rise segments, but the rest of the level strikes me as something that could have been much more if it adhered more closely to the teleporter boost gimmick. There's a lot of undiscovered potential here, but the problem is exactly that it's undiscovered in this level. I also got killed by a random screen border that one time. I assume there were spikes on the other end. I'd say this level is alright, but it suffers from bad enemy placement, considering how many enemies there are who shoot hard-to-avoid projectiles, not to mention the little enemy variety. Besides that, the level is just way too short, with split paths only being one screen long each. Anyway, I like the teleporter gimmick, and I had a short period of fun in that vertical spike section. Overall, it's not a bad level for what it is, but it could be better. Oh, dearie me. Playtesting your own level, you see, is a good thing, as about half of the gimmicks in the stage are utterly pointless, as in you can skip using most of them. This includes the Frostman sled, both of them, without weapons or utilities. I actually completed the 2 areas that use jet sleds without the jet sled. I'm sorry, but that is hilarious! I went back to play both segments with the jet sled afterwards, and they're not exactly improved by the gimmick, especially with the enemy spam in the second one. Also, I think Pandita has a bit too much health for the sled segment, really. Agreed. Secondly, most of the Galaxy Man teleporters can also be outright skipped without even using weapons. This is a bit silly. The stage wants to do 2 paths, which is weird because the paths is it's short. So short, in fact, that it doesn't really warrant existing, like it feels short enough to only have a noble nickel in it. The other has some thought put behind it and is at least a decent length. Enemy selection in the stage was, frankly, spotty. There are many instances of only a single enemy of a type showing up in the stage, usually without thought to their placement. It's all a hodgepodge, and really doesn't help the level any, mostly because of these. Many of these are really badly placed. The single random Coco is an example of an enemy that shouldn't sit where it is, as it is more nuisance than challenge. The tile set appears to be random blocks placed all over the place. At no point does this level seem coherent, which makes it fairly ugly to look at. I'll give you praise where you deserve it. Your checkpoint placement was great, and the final room on the long path, while silly, was a very clever use of teleporting. The galaxy was using galaxy language. The spike drop earlier in the level was also well handled. Everything else was a bit lackluster in most cases, and rubbish in others, and the fact that so much of the level can be played by outright ignoring segments is ridiculous. Go use base costume once I'm done with the boss. Hey, do you know how to get to the One Direction concert from here? Tier 4 boss. Uh-oh. This is moving. Why am I able to move? Oh, that's a floor I can go through. Most of it's like one screen and then move on. I told you! My body structure is way better than yours! How could you possibly think? Oh, great! Roll is here! Ugh, good going. See? If you would have just seen how obviously superior I am earlier, we wouldn't have to have wasted time and had Roll catch us. That's a good one. You know, I don't even see how this is even debatable. My treads make me so much more agile than you. I wasn't keeping track of who was saying what from where. We've probably switched voices by now. Agile? More like slippery and uncontrollable. Says the one from Mega Man Eternal. Says the one from Mega Man Sunrise. Should I just go, or... Fine, let's settle this. The one to land the finishing blow on Roll is the superior robot. Fine, sounds good. Fine. Fine! I'm not going to give either of you the satisfaction. Okay, fine. I was hoping for some sort of extra cutscene where they do a, hooray, I'm the better one. Oh, boo. Should have waited a little longer till their health bars were up. Oh, well. I'm sure bees don't work against fire, but let's see. I like that we're addressing... Oh yeah! Yeah! I'm just gonna do this until they decide that this is no longer a useful tactic. Okay. Okay, we'll just freeze your fire, that's alright. I was hoping to not let either of them get a hit in. We're going to have to work together like we were told to in order to win! Oh, that wasn't your voice at all. Oh, fine, I'll do it! Yes! I approve. Okay. Now is time for these. Yay! I like it. And I was starting to say, I like that this recognizes that there's so much overlap in fan game Robot Master names. Alright, we will go unlock base. There's another tier down. I'm probably going the wrong way to unlock base. Oh no, maybe I got it right this time. Hi sis. Think we could trade places? I don't think I'm suited to this, so to speak. Okay. Base it is. Why on earth would you want... Okay, fine, suit yourself, so to speak. This shop is always exciting, but I'm not sure where we get our wares from. I think the dashing that is actually sliding throws me off just a little bit, because I feel like I should be able to dash jump from here. Welcome back, base! I see you've amassed a lot of cash! Buy whatever... Oh, you sound more like this. Buy whatever you want! I want... that... and that. But not that. So now, I might be able to go back at some point and do that jewel bumping minigame. Oh, let's check in with Dr. Light. Now we are going to Tier 5. I'm assuming there will be, like, pictures up on the board of some kind. Ah, 33 energy elements. Splendid job so far. There's just so many more than the first festival. It's kind of refreshing to come back to the old hub. That little nostalgia kick. Alright, so now we are actually going to Tier 5. I was just so confused the first time, I would assume that 2 came after 1, and I assumed that because I have the game on a really small window size, that I just wasn't reading this correctly. And I also forgot whether 1 was the highest or lowest, so I thought, oh, well, if we're bottom is 6, then 5 makes sense. I had no clue.